Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we are going to read Lord Chaitanya's mission. Would somebody like to read?
Read.
Yeah, please.
Lord Chaitanya's mission. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his disciples to write on the science of Krishna, a task which his followers have continued to carry out down to the present day. The elaborations and explanations on the philosophy taught by Chaitanya are in fact most voluminous, exacting, and consistent due to the system of disciplic succession. Although Lord Chaitanya was widely renowned as a scholar in his youth, he left only 8 verses called Shiksha Sataka. These 8 verses clearly reveal mission and prospects. These supremely valuable prayers are translated here.
So Prabhupada is saying that Lord Chaitanya, he encouraged his followers, especially the 6 Goswamis, to write volumes and volumes of bhakti literatures. Like Rupa Goswami has written Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Sanatan Goswami has written Hari Bhakti Vilas. So many books are there. But Lord Chaitanya himself, he left only 8 verses called the Shikshastaka. And in this 8 verses, his mood, his mission is clearly revealed. So the first one.
Glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of benediction's moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
So Lord Chaitanya, first he's saying glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, chanting of the holy names. And what's the first thing that happens when one chants the holy name?
Cleanses the heart.
Yeah, cleanses the heart. Our heart becomes clean, it gets purified. Extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. One gives up this desire for being, not only desire, it purifies the heart, it gives liberation, extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. That is liberation. And then this Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large. So it's for everyone. It's not that it's only for a certain group of people, a certain community. No, everyone. It's openly given the benediction to everyone. It's giving transcendental knowledge. The more we chant, the more the transcendental knowledge will be revealed in our heart. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. So the more we chant, the more the knowledge is revealed in our heart, the more we will become blissful. And the more we become blissful, the more we will be able to taste the nectar. We are always anxious to taste this nectar. So simply by chanting the holy name, all these things follow. Then Lord Chaitanya continues.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of your kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
So Lord Chaitanya then continues to say, first he's saying glory to the Sankirtana movement because it, purifies the heart, gives us the transcendental knowledge, allows us to taste the nectar. Then he says that your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, all the living entities, not only to the human beings, but any living entity who hears the holy name gets purified. And Lord Chaitanya says you have hundreds and millions of names. Krishna has so many names, Govinda and Krishna. Here he's mentioning Krishna and Govinda. And these names of Krishna are non-different than Krishna. Krishna is his name. Krishna and his name are non-different. We are unable to understand it because in the material world, when we say mango, we cannot taste the mango. But on the spiritual platform, the name and the object is the same. But the more we chant, the more we will be able to realize it. Lord Chaitanya is saying there are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. We can chant the holy name anytime, anywhere, whatever condition, anywhere we can chant. Then, out of his humility, he's saying that, but I am so fortunate that I have no attraction for them. You're allowing us to easily approach you just by chanting your name. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. So he's taking our position. That's what our position is. Krishna and his holy name. Krishna is the holy name. And by chanting the holy name, we can go back to Godhead. We can taste the highest pleasure. We can stop this cycle of birth and death. We can get liberation. Anything, everything. Easily we can approach Krishna by chanting the holy name. But what is our unfortunate position? No attraction for them, no attraction to chant. This is Lord Chaitanya saying in the second verse. And
one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a void of all senses of false prestige and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
And this is the foundation on which chanting of the holy name is situated. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Caitanya Caritamita, says that we should take this verse and tie it around our neck. That how to chant the holy name, Lord Chaitanya is saying that. He's telling us the mood of how we should chant in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. And we should be able to be tolerant. A tree is tolerant. So Lord Chaitanya is saying we should also become tolerant. And we should be ready to give respect to others and not expect respect from others. And when we are able to do that, then we will be continuously able to chant the holy name. Constantly. All the time we can chant the holy name. So now how to reach this position? We chant the holy name. Whatever is our state of mind, we continue to chant. And by chanting, we will come in this position. If we might say, oh, Lord Chaitanya is saying chant in a humble state of mind, but I'm not humble, so I'm not going to chant. Oh, I'm not tolerant, so I'm not going to chant. Oh, I demand respect from others, so I'm not going to chant. No, we still chant. Whatever is our position, we still chant. And these qualities will manifest.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire a beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
So then in this verse, Lord Chaitanya is saying what happens as a result of chanting constantly, what happens as a result of chanting in a humble state of mind. One gets purified. One gets purified, and then the only desire that remains with the living entity is causeless devotional service, birth after birth. This is what Lord Chaitanya is asking for. And he's showing us that this should be our mood. By the Shikshastaka prayers, he's teaching us that this is what we should follow. So he's saying, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women. For women it is men. Nor do I want any number of followers. And then I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. This is the desire that a pure devotee has. The pure devotees. That's what they want. Now, someone may say, oh, but then we want to have the desire of going back home, back to Godhead. But it's the same thing. There's no difference. What is one going to do when they go back to Godhead? They're going to engage in devotional service. So it's the same thing.
O son of Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or the other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
So Lord Chaitanya is showing us that our relationship with Krishna, son of Maharaj Nanda, he is pointing out which Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna, Shamsundar Krishna, Krishna who's the son of Maharaj Nanda, so that there is no doubt in anyone's mind or heart. He says, I am your eternal servitor. This is what each of our position is. We are all eternal servitors of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya says, Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. Every living entity is an eternal servant of Krishna. But somehow or the other we have fallen in this material world. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, he's praying to Lord Krishna, please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So he wants to have this personal association with Krishna. But the humility is there. He's not saying, make me a gopi, or make me this, or make me that. He's saying with the humility, I want to have your personal association. But kindly just make me as an atom of dust at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the reaction of your name?
Recitation of your name. So this, as one continues to chant the holy name, all these qualities will be manifest in the pure devotee. All these emotions will be manifest. So the pure devotee, they chant with love for Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya is saying, when will I be able to do that? When will my hair stand on end? Because I'm feeling so much bliss, so much emotion. This is bhava. Chanting on the level of, there's so much emotion there while chanting the holy name.
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrent of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
So this is the mood of the gopis. The gopis, then even when they would blink their eyes, they would say, oh, Brahma, he does not know how to create. He's they are saying he does not know how to create. Why? Because he created the blinking of the eyes. So then what happened? Oh, because when we blink for that moment, we are not able to see Krishna. So a moment to be like 12 years of separation from Krishna. So this is the feeling of the gopis. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all weakened in the world in your absence. So we may think, oh my God, so much suffering. Do I need to chant the holy name and then I have to suffer like that? But we have to understand that this is the highest bliss. What is very what seems very low in this material world, in the spiritual world, is the highest pleasure. In the material world, separation is very painful. But on the spiritual platform, this separation, in fact, allows the gopis to feel a very special kind of joy in their heart. It's Vipralamba Seva, it's called.
Yeah. Wow.
Serving the Lord in separation, the gopis. And they're experiencing a bliss, a joy which is higher than anyone else. And then this is the 8th verse, which reveals the heart of Srimati Radharani.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
So this is the mood of Srimati Radharani, that Krishna, whether you embrace me or you throw me away, you turn me away, I cannot stop loving you. And this is her position. So
Imagine the Lord the Lord has come and he's come as a devotee. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So why has he come as a devotee?
To show us, right, how to love Krishna.
Yes.
And closer to him and by chanting and reading about him.
Yeah, because everyone had forgotten.
Yeah, and
Krishna
go back
says
to
in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that's right. Because Krishna says, surrender to me in Bhagavad Gita. But then people didn't know how to surrender, what to do. So Krishna came again as Lord Caitanya to teach us how to engage in devotional service, how to chant the holy name, how to surrender. Yeah. And by the Shikshastaka, he's showing us that how by chanting the holy name, we can get the highest perfection. There's some devotees who daily recite these 8 verses, the Sanskrit of these 8 verses and the meanings.
Preface. There is no difference between the teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented here and the teachings of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya are practical demonstrations of Lord Krishna's teachings. Lord Krishna's ultimate instruction in Bhagavad Gita is that everyone should surrender unto him, Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna promises to take immediate charge of such a surrender. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is already in charge of the maintenance of this creation by virtue of his plenary expansions. What is this? What is this? How do you say this?
Shirodakashai Vishnu.
Shirodakshai. But this maintenance is not direct. However, the Lord says that he takes charge of his pure devotee. He actually takes direct charge. A pure devotee is a soul who is forever surrendered to the Lord, just as a child is surrendered to his parents or an animal is surrendered to its masters. In the surrendering process, one should accept things favorable for discharging devotional service, reject things unfavorable, believe firmly in the Lord's protection, feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord, have no interests separate from the interest of the Lord, and always feel oneself meek and humble.
So Prabhupada is explaining to us that the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna are the same. Bhagavad Gita, as we just said, Krishna says to surrender, and Lord Chaitanya shows us practically how to surrender. Because we may have different ideas, we may make up different things, but Lord Chaitanya is saying, no, this is what you do. This is how you can surrender. So, and then Prabhupada points out that Shirodakshai Vishnu is maintaining this universe. He's in charge of maintenance, but this maintenance is not direct, right? It's not direct. It's because he's not personally doing it. He's doing it as like a management for everyone. under the rules and regulations, whatever, everything is happening according to the rules. But when Krishna is saying that he takes charge of his pure devotee, he actually takes direct charge. Krishna personally takes charge of the devotee, of the pure devotees. Like we can see so many times Krishna comes for his pure devotee, that there was one devotee who was saying, oh, that Krishna carries, no, how can Krishna carry something that I lack? So he rubs that out. And then Krishna Balaram come to his wife and they bring food for them, and they say, oh, we have to go, otherwise we'll get whipped. They show the red marks on their body. So Krishna actually personally is involved in the life of a pure devotee, one who surrendered to the Lord. Is completely dependent on the Lord. So Prabhupada is pointing out, what is this surrendering process? How does one surrender? Prabhupada is pointing out, one, accepting things which are favorable for devotional service. Two, rejecting things which are unfavorable for devotional service. Firmly believe in the Lord's protection. Avashya Rakshime Krishna. That's the pure devotee's move. Because like the child, he knows he just has to cry and the mother will come. The child does not worry, oh, the economy is up or down, will the mother take care of me or no? No, he knows, I will cry, mother will come. Same way, pure devotee, he is firmly convinced of his relationship to Krishna. Feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. So he understands that it's not, we say, oh, I'm doing it. But the pure devotee understands that he is being maintained by the Lord. I have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord. No interest separate from the interest of the Lord. He's just interested in engaging devotional service. He has no personal agenda. He's not, he does not want to be in the material world because of whatever XYZ personal things that he wants to do. No. If he's there in the material world, it's only for the service of the Lord. Always feel oneself meek and humble. So, this is the surrendering process. When there's this, right, that the gates of heaven are open to those who are meek and humble. So, and how we read Lord Chaitanya also, the Trinadapi Sunichena verse, that one can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. So Krishna wants to see his devotees meek and humble, because that's the natural position. It's not artificial. It's not that, oh, I will speak some artificial words by which I may appear to be very humble. Krishna does not want that. It's a real humility to understand, oh, I'm a part and parcel of Krishna. Oh, I'm a servant of Krishna. That is real humility, understanding our true position. Not to just speak some words which make us feel, oh, I'm so humble. All that.
The Lord demands that one surrender unto him by following these 6 guidelines. But the unintelligent so-called scholars of the world misunderstand these demands and urge the general mass of people to reject them. At the conclusion of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna...
Sorry,
Sorry, where did it go? Yeah.
Sorry, here. Yeah.
Lord Krishna, engage your mind always in thinking of me. Offer obeisances and worship me, being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. Bhagavad Gita 9.34. However, the scholarly demons misguide the masses of people by directing them to the impersonal, unmanifest, eternal, unborn truth rather than the personality of Godhead. The impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers do not accept that the ultimate accept of the absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one desires to understand the sun as it is, first face the sunshine, then the sun globe, and after entering into that globe, come face to face with the predominating deity of the sun. Due to a pure fund of knowledge, the Mayavadi philosophers cannot go beyond the Brahman effulgence, which may be compared to the sunshine. The Upanishads confirm that one has to penetrate the dazzling effulgence of Brahman before one can see the real face of the personality of Godhead.
So Prabhupada is explaining to us, when we see the sunshine, we say it's the sun. We are correct. Then we see the sun globe. We say that's the sun. That's also correct. And when we see the deity of the sun god, we say, he is the sun. That's also correct. So the most perfect is understanding all three, that there is a deity of the sun god. He is in a planet of the sun globe, and there is the sunshine coming from there. That's the most perfect understanding. So if we understand God simply as light, yeah, it's correct, but it is partial understanding. Then as we go further in our understanding, then we understand that he's not only the light, he's also the Paramatma. Oh, he's not only the Paramatma, he's a person. He's a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the Upanishads, the Sriyas Upanishad specifically. Mantra 15 says, the devotee is praying, my dear Lord, kindly remove this light, this effulgence which is coming from your body, so that I can see your face. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that engage your mind in always thinking of me, offer obeisances, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So Krishna is very clearly saying what to do. He's saying, you think of me, you become my devotee, you offer obeisances to me, you worship me. And like this, you will always think of me, right? Like this, you will come to me. Now, if we misinterpret it and say, oh no, Krishna is not saying to think of him, but to something inside of him or out of him, or, if we try to make up things, then we are getting away from what Krishna is telling us. We simply have to follow what Krishna is saying. He's not saying, think of something inside me or beyond me, or, he's just saying, you think of me. Simply he's saying that. And that's all we have to do. Think of Krishna. He's a person. Worship me, he's saying. So worship the person, Krishna. He's saying, offer obeisances to me. So offer obeisances to the deity. Worship the deity. Think of Krishna. And he's saying this, you will surely come to me. This is what Krishna is saying.
Lord Chaitanya therefore teaches direct worship of Lord Krishna, who appeared as a foster child of the king of Vraj. He also suggests that the place known as Vrindavan is as good as Lord Krishna, because there is no difference between the name, quality, form, pastimes, entourage, and paraphernalia of Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna himself. That is the absolute nature of the absolute truth.
So Krishna is saying, engage your mind in thinking of me. Lord Chaitanya is saying the same thing. Become a devotee of Krishna. Worship Krishna. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. He went around telling everybody that. He was telling his devotees also to teach that. Worship Krishna. Follow the instructions of Krishna. So, Lord Chaitanya, and who's Krishna? Who appeared as the foster child of the king of Vraj, Vrajendra Nandan Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is pointing out clearly without, he's not keeping any room for any misinterpretation or any room for doubt. Or is it Vasudev Krishna? Is it Shyam Sundar Krishna? No, he's saying Rajendra Nandan Krishna, who is in Vrindavan. So that is Shyam Sundar Krishna. And Vrindavan is also as good as Krishna. Why? Because the Lord, his form, his name, his pastimes, his quality, his paraphernalia, they're all the same. We are unable to understand it. Why? Because that is the spiritual platform. That's the absolute platform. In our material experience, the place is different, the name is different, the qualities are different, we don't have pastimes, we have activities, and they're all different. But for Krishna, there's no difference. because it's absolute. Krishna is absolute truth. That's the nature of the absolute world. We'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or comments? Okay.
No, all okay.
Yeah. Did anyone want to? It's all good.
So the
then-
Vrindavan they are mentioning is the Vrindavan in here, right? In the material world.
Yeah. The Vrindavan that is here. Then we will say, oh, but I cannot see Chintamani. I cannot see Surabhi. I cannot see the Kalpa Vriksha. Then we see that our consciousness is not spiritual. That's why we are not able to see the real Vrindavan. Our consciousness is material, so we are not able to see the real Vrindavan. But yes, it's this Vrindavan. It is the spiritual world. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Shri
Ki
Prabhupada
jai.
ki Gaur
Jai.
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much for
Krishna.
listening.